Nerdcore could rise up. It could get elevated. Nerdcore could rise up. It could get elevated.
I've nerked here all
Nerdcore
night.
used to be just a made-up
I've
word.
nerked here all
MCs
day.
shied away from belief. Rest assured they sleep hard no longer.
And Kyle, he got me nerking low-key. Yeah. Yeah.
No, leaving.
They call me Master Pain. Yeah.
It's the worst. I'm just going to check out now.
You might as well. Welcome to Every Man's Guide to Nerddom, where we are two 30 to 40-something-year-olds who talk about pretty much whatever we want. I'm Chris.
And I'm Kyle, and you guys might know us from online on the Twitches as Guyver UNT01. That's Chris. And KSIG, it's K_SIG. That's me. We typically stream randomly. But random, but at least every Saturday night, you'll find us on Twitch streaming with other people from the community when we play our Spooky Saturday games, which is a combination of AAA and mostly indie horror games. Mostly cheap shit that Chris buys everybody, and like we're gonna play it, and then we have a great time.
Because they're actually a lot of fun. They're not all winners.
No, but they're fun because we're doing it together.
Mm-hmm.
That's the key. So if
And
you
they're
guys
cheap.
want to hear, a group of guys drink beer and give each other shit and make fun of each other and sometimes get butt hurt, tune in on Saturday nights.
Or ask
times.
if other
Make some
people's
popcorn.
wives know traditional Indian cuisine.
That was so good.
Harry. So, we just released episode 1 of Loki. So Kyle and I were talking, we're probably going to release Loki a week later than the episode. We might release it the week of. I don't know. Oh, let me change the TV too. I forgot.
I'm throwing my Nerkie filter on.
It's just a lot right now. We got a lot going on, so we may not be able to keep up with 2 a week. We can at least record 2 of them. We might not be able to get them out 2 a week, but we're going to try.
If we get them recorded, we can get them out. It's just
It's the timing.
doing it.
Yeah. Because summer sucks right now.
Mm-hmm.
But as long as you all keep enjoying it, we're going to keep doing it.
Yeah, summer does suck. It's mostly the humidity.
It does.
It's not a dry heat. It's really balmy, swampy, balmy heat.
Swamp balls.
Swamp balmy.
You get swack going on really bad.
Yep.
It's like that kind that, like, it's not like Velcro peeling off your legs. It's like super glue.
You know those, you used to get them, they would come in little plastic eggs, like you'd go to the grocery store and you put the quarter in, and you'd crack open the egg and it had a little sticky hand that you'd throw and slap against the wall, and like...
He's not wrong.
That's my life right now.
He's not wrong.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's a great analogy. Actually,
Pretty
it really
accurate.
is. It is very accurate.
My mom recently found the podcast, so I hope she listens to this one just for that.
Oh, your mom found the podcast?
Yep.
My dad attempted to listen to the first one, and then he gave up. He goes, I didn't understand anything you guys were talking about. I go, of course you didn't.
Yeah, my dad would probably listen and then would laugh because he would hear us laughing, but he's like half deaf, so he wouldn't know anything else is going on in it, but he would enjoy the noises.
At least he'd enjoy it.
I think he would. Maybe.
My
I'm
parents would.
confused about the fact that we did one over role playing, and I just didn't explain it anymore to him and left it at that.
I actually don't think anyone in my family listens to this. My sister promoted it at first, one of my sisters.
Oh, yeah? Like at first.
The first episode, yeah. She put a Facebook post. My nerdy brother did it again, listened to his podcast, and that's pretty much it from there. I mean, it's something. That's
Always
kind of
something.
the it's kind of a struggle that if you grow up as a nerd, a geek, a dork, and the rest of your family's not, that's kind of the lonely struggle you go through.
Mm-hmm. You try to talk about it. Try to talk about things.
Mm-hmm.
Your nerdy likes and stuff. in which I've got, similar interests with the rest of my family too, because we all hunt and fish and do all that fun backcountry redneck shit. But like then I do this stuff too, and like
They don't get it.
I don't get it. No,
And like, it'd be different if they even tried to understand, I think.
Dad listens. Most of them they'll listen. Like my family listens, they just don't get it. They don't,
Oh, that's more than my family. My family will not listen.
Mm.
I'm like, hey, did you guys watch the new Loki? They're like, no. I'm like, oh, eat your salad, Chris.
I think I got my brother watching Rick and Morty though, so that's a plus.
Which after we get done recording this, I will be watching the season premiere from last night.
Yep, I need to get caught up. I might do
Yes,
that
you do.
tonight. Well, yeah.
So let's nerk this and we can go do that.
Let's get into Loki so we can go do other shit.
So episode 2, the variant.
Yep. Nothing
Episode
happened.
one's-
We're gonna go watch stuff now.
Episode 1 started off kind of slow, which they always do, but it was good.
It was a good slow. You don't want to just, ram your Loki in there. First, you gotta ease it in. You gotta ease in your Loki.
You got to make sure that you're well prepared, and
Yeah, you just can't go throwing
you
your
lose-
Loki.
you
Loki and
lube
all
up your
willy-nilly.
Loki.
Yeah, it's like, oh, what was that variant? Don't worry about that. Where'd you learn that with your Loki?
I learned it from you, okay?
I learned it from watching you.
Learned it from watching you.
God, the commercial.
That was the greatest commercial ever.
I hope that kid didn't get hooked on drugs. Anyway,
They probably did.
so on the recap, they probably. What about that? What if they would have became like a child star from being the kid in an anti-drug commercial, and then they got hooked on drugs? Like it's like the circle of life, but the other way around.
How ironic that would be.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
I bet it's happened.
I bet it has too.
That's another topic.
We'll go on that another day. Trying to find my notes. Okay, so
we go to the recap. I love that green and
I do too.
yellow.
Like the green and the yellow. It just
it's like
looks
a green
really cool.
chrome. Like if
So, oh, it is, isn't it?
mm-hmm.
So, flash fact.
Okay.
This has been the #1 fastest, most popular show Disney has had to date.
This one has
Mm-hmm. There's an article that was out this morning, I think, about it.
even over. Well, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, I can understand why WandaVision wasn't, because that was new. Right? Captain
But
America.
everyone knows who Loki is.
Everyone knows who Loki is. Everyone knows well, they recognize the name Captain America.
Mhm.
But so maybe the other two. So I'm thinking like people went back and watched the other ones. Like they probably didn't watch them as soon as they came out, and then they went back and watched them. That probably helped build the hype that, oh yeah, they can do a TV series. They can make this work.
Or people who don't, even watch it and just listen to our podcast.
Yeah, we contributed 7 new viewers.
You're welcome, Marvel,
Yeah,
Disney.
up.
Oh, and I do have to say, we did get called out. We weren't supportive of his non Nerkie watching lifestyle. So, Chof, we support you in your non-watching lifestyle.
we do.
We
We're your
support
conduit.
you. We love you.
Mhm.
We support you, even though you're different, that you don't watch the rest of the shows that we do.
You're a team killing bastard.
You are a team killing bastard, but we
Mhm.
love you anyway.
We do. We do.
And he's gonna say, he's gonna go, that's not me, that's Harry.
That's
and
Harry.
he's also
Even though it's
writing
not
that
Harry,
one too.
It's me.
And it's actually K-Sig.
Mm-hmm.
Out of all of them.
I am a team killing son of a bitch. Not on purpose.
So
I'm really errant with my gunplay.
I've heard that about you, sir. Illegal in 5 states.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, don't look it up.
And I think we got it.
Rolling 4.
So I think
Can't
Kitty
even step
Mew
foot in New
listens to us
Mexico.
now, doesn't
What?
she? Didn't Kitty Mew listen to us now?
Yep.
So,
she's got
New
the
listener,
link.
thank you, Kitty.
She's a new listener. Ginger
Ginger.
is
Chrome.
in on it. We got Chofs. We got Ozzy's been listening. All you guys that. Who else we got? All the new
Justin, B. Rob,
B-Rob. Well, they also help host.
Hughes.
They don't care. Yeah, Hughes. Everybody out there.
Hughes is probably one of our most loyal.
But not Harry.
Not Harry at all.
No.
Harry's like, gosh, I listen to you guys sometimes.
You would think with all the airtime that he's bought for commercials, he would like want to hear his product being pushed.
You would think, but no, I think he's content with the money he's getting in right now.
I think so. Yeah, that beard butter money.
Yeah, and then there's a new commercial getting ready to come out too that we're editing, and that'll be out soon too.
You guys look forward to that. I am.
So,
I wish I could talk about it, but I can't.
Yeah, he can't right now because it's super secret.
It's
And then
super secret.
actually,
Even
there
I
might
don't
be
know
two-
what's going on.
There might be 2 sponsors. So,
Ooh.
Daddy's working on a couple. So I do love how it says Renaissance music playing, and then we see Oshkosh B'gosh, Wisconsin. And what did they say? This is the 80s? 85?
1985. Yeah. It's hard to tell at a Renaissance fair, though.
It really is.
Really looks, more like 1685. But whatever.
It really does. And then you have the orc.
Yep.
And then you have the TVA that just appears and, looking completely out of period costume.
Oh, never mind. Like, I didn't get a good look at this woman at the first time, and I was, watching out of the corner of my eye because you guys that don't know, when we talk about this, we usually have we're watching it. We're doing that Disney Play watch together kind of thing, and
we still together.
We both have it pulled up on a second monitor, and so we're watching this. Like, this is what we do. If this is the first time for you guys, we'll go through the episode scene by scene. We'll pull out Easter eggs that we found or that we've looked up and found out about. Little tidbits of information or that we know about. Chris will give a lot of comic book canon backstory because he knows all of that. I'll give some really shallow opinions on things, and we just kind of work through it.
Hold on, that deserves a.
Yep. And so anyway, so I've got it out of the corner of my eye, or on this second monitor, and I saw out of the corner of my eye the lady that was just complaining, and I didn't really pay attention to her when I watched through the first time. Like, I don't think I even really looked at her. I just kind of heard it because I was doing some other stuff. But just like briefly, I thought it was Agatha.
Thought it was Agatha.
Yeah.
She kind of does look like Agatha.
She's similar. She's like,
I wonder if they did that on purpose.
They ordered their Agatha off of Wish.
It's wish.com Agatha.
The Agatha double.
But of course, she's the one that calls them out. There's always someone who will call you out at a Renaissance.
You've got knockoff Agatha. You've got knockoff. We were talking about him last night from Game of Thrones. The big red bearded guy. God, what's his? Not Hodor. Tell you real quick. Clickety, 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 clickety. Tormund, Giantsbane.
Yes.
Yeah. So we got knockoff Agatha and knockoff Tormund.
Wish.com. But yeah, she does look like Agatha. Good call. Yeah, of course she's calling out. You guys aren't dressed right. And what was your first hint? The Game & Watch on the wrist. And some of us need this, she yells at him. It's like, well, what's funny is then they'll cut to 2021. She's still there.
Go get you an Orange Julius.
Hey, I love Orange Julius's.
Because the 80s and malls and those things still existed.
Orange Julius still exists.
Oh, okay.
But then you hear over the speakers, this guy, my lords and ladies, welcome. I swear that's Hiddleston talking. If you remember the voice.
May have been.
I think
I was more caught up with how they were preparing to fight, like how they were holding their little batons. It's like forearm out.
Yeah, and then next thing you know, you see the leader of the Time Squad. Her eyes were glowing green, and then she starts attacking.
She's a minute lady.
She's a minute lady. I like Time Squad. She was attacking them. her own squad, and then the hooded figure appears and holds one of them while she hits him with a lance. And then one of the guys goes, what are you doing? She's like, having some fun. Eyes glow green, and she goes down.
So at this point, did you think that she was being controlled?
Yep.
Like remotely, or that she was taken over, like possessed?
Oh, possessed?
Yeah.
I think she was possessed. That's what I thought at that point in time.
It too.
And because we know we're fighting a Loki variant, it was Loki who I thought it was because of the green. Loki.
Well, they are hunting a Loki variant.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why I thought it was the Loki.
Yeah. The MO matched.
She grabs she got grabbed the hunter.
Snatched her up.
Snatched her up and took her through the door. And then we get to the title scene.
Yep.
Which I still like a lot.
Yep. And we
Okay. Next thing you know, we are on. We hear Miss. What's her name? Miss Minutes.
I think so. The little.
Tara Strong.
Yeah, their mascot.
What is her name? Yeah, Miss Minutes.
Minutes. Yeah.
And we see someone reading a jet ski magazine.
Mm-hmm.
And then we look and it's Mobius.
I love this. For some
And
reason,
then we
I just
hear-
absolutely love this.
I do too. Miss Minutes is like, what happens when a Nexus event branches past red line? You hear it's like quizzes being taken. And it's not Mobius. It's Loki reading it. And he just says very bad things. And there's like a holographic Miss Minutes on there.
Mm-hmm.
So did you notice the connection with Miss Minutes here?
No.
Look at her.
Well, she's angry now.
She is angry, but she also has 16 notches on her.
Whoa, wait. 1, 2, 3, 4. She does.
Mm-hmm. A traditional clock has 12.
9, 10, 11, 12, 13.
You remember what Mobius said? Time works differently here.
Yeah.
I think.
Okay,
that's
now I'm
accurate.
trying to look at other stuff since we got it paused. I really don't see much of anything else though.
I know. They have Pip Boys. They're Game & Watches. Those are Pip Boys.
They're basically a Pip Boy. Yeah.
And look, there's the console from Fallout.
It's that style.
Yeah, I don't know why we didn't pick up that on the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, she's got 16 on her face. So, yes, I'm impressed too. Thank you.
I'm very impressed. But I'm still taking it in. You gotta give me a minute.
I know you are.
Time moves differently in my house.
Well, something it did look very different though. Like that's something just looked off to me. So I paused it and I started counting it. I go, there's 16.
Have
So she's
you
like,
seen
come on,
that
Loki.
referenced anywhere? Okay, you talk about it. I'm gonna look it up, see if anybody's picked up anything on that.
Okay. She's like, come on, Loki, which to me means this isn't like a recorded thing. She knows his name. Loki sighs and says, when the TVA can no longer reset a Nexus event. Okay, boring. He's Loki.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and that would lead to the destruction of the timeline and the collapse of reality as we know it. So she's quizzing him. He's like, can you hear me? Are you recording? Are you alive? And she goes, sort of both. Like, I didn't, like, that freaked me out. And then he tried to whack her with the magazine and she's jumping all over the place, telling him to quit it. And she called him a jerk.
I'm still trying to see here. Miss Minutes. I'm stuck on this now.
I'll keep going while you look at that. So he's, Mobius comes back. He's like, is that my jet ski magazine? Put it back. He's like, all right, whatever. He gave him a TVA jacket. And of course, Loki puts up the collar to make it very Loki-like.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, we've had an attack. come on, let's go. And the agent who got attacked is C20, by the way. And then they get with Amanda Waller again. C15. Was it? No, B15, wasn't she?
She was B15.
B15.
The
Amanda Waller.
Yeah.
She's explaining what happened, that after they jumped into the 1985 branch, they got attacked. And
I'm not finding anything on Miss Minutes and her having that. You may have found something that nobody's found.
Dun dun dun.
Dun, dun, dun.
That'd actually be kind of cool. So they're saying we've grabbed enough temporal aura to know it's a Loki variant, and Loki's just kind of looking there at him. But they're like, which kind of Loki? Loki. You know, we don't know. And Loki, of course, goes the lesser Loki, of course, and gives this sneer. And Waller's like, she sighs, let me see the back of that jacket. And this is actually brilliant. I cracked up at this part. He turns around and it says variant on the back.
Like, he
And
was
they
looking
all
pretty.
get a good chuckle.
Yeah, he was looking pretty snazzy up to that point.
He was. Then you find out he has variant.
Mhm.
Like, which makes you wonder if they have variant written on his underwear too.
But they do.
I bet they do.
Because don't they have a number assigned to him too? Will they say that later?
Yeah, it's I don't know what it is though.
Like 6612 something. I don't know. That's sticking to my head for some weird reason. Could be totally wrong. I think it comes up later.
I wonder if it's like 616. We need to see that. If it's 616, then we have another Easter egg. Did you just give a crying face?
Hey, I can react while we're watching this.
Yeah, but you don't give crying face when I'm talking. I mean, I do. So she goes, I don't want anyone to forget what you are. And he's like, you know, he's just trying to give it to her. And she's like, a cosmic mistake. Which, you know, Loki's got such a high opinion of himself. She constantly kicks him back down.
Mhm.
And he's like, that's enough. And he's like, lovely.
Because he doesn't believe that he's the lesser Loki, but with all these potential variants, he can't be top Loki. Like, the odds of him being top Loki are kind of low.
So you're
Right.
saying he's a bottom.
Yeah, he's bottom Loki.
Bottom Loki. I get
Yeah.
that. Oh, there's
He's a
his
more
number.
low key Loki.
He's a low key, Mr. Low Key.
Low key Loki.
So they say, you know, there's a variation, like here's our Loki. It's a type we should be very familiar with, and there's Loki. Yeah, and then it's what 11247, something like that.
Yeah.
Because the TVA has pruned a lot of these guys, and then Loki's face when they say that is just amazing.
He's like, wait, what?
He goes, wait a minute, that might be a picture right there.
Snatch it.
Snatch game. Almost more of it than any other variant. So apparently Loki has way more variants than any other guy. Because my guess, because he's the god of mischief. Then they show the soccer Loki. Oh, it's L1247.
No, that's I believe that is a cyclist Loki.
You think so?
Yeah. He probably won like the
Oh yeah.
French, whatever.
Or maybe it's didgeridoo Loki.
Didgeridoo.
Didgeridoo, Oakley Dokley. Flanders Loki.
Oh, he'd be a Floki.
He'd be a Floki. That would be amazing. A Floki. Well, no two are alike. Slight differences in appearances are not so slight. And then I love this one, the one that's like with the horns and like the huge body, like the Hulk-like body.
Mm-hmm.
Almost looks like Wendigo.
Kind of.
Wendigo. Ah, shit. I hit the wrong button.
What'd you do? Oh, no.
Yep. Okay, there we go. And he's like, Here we go.
What's that
Okay.
Loki?
I don't know. I think that's Unibrow Loki.
Ah,
Slight difference in appearance, different powers, although powers generally include shape-shifting, illusion projection, and my favorite. He kind of looks like Krampus Loki.
yeah. It's the
I wonder if that is
Krampus.
Croaky.
Maybe.
Duplication casting. And then that Loki looked cool. All muscled up. He's like, what'd you say? Illusion projection. And then Loki just puts him in his place. I love this part. No, they're two completely different powers. And he has to explain it. He's like, illusion projection involves depicting a detailed image from outside oneself, which is perceptible in the external world. Whereas duplication casting entails recreating an exact facsimile of one's own body in the present circumstance, which acts as a true holographic mirror of its molecular structure. But you already knew that. And they all just kind of, okay. Owen's like, take a breath. Noted.
Calm down, Tech.
Yeah. All right, Tech.
Tech.
And he's like, okay, we're going to break up two teams. Me and Professor Loki will be in one team. And I think you think that's a nod to Professor Hulk?
Maybe.
Or are they just calling him Professor because he's trying to explain stuff?
I think that.
And then if you look over there next to Mobius, there's Steve-O. And Steve-O's like, why? Why? It's like, whoever the variant is, we haven't been able to find him. So let's bring in an expert. And then they all look at Loki. He goes, that's me. And gives them that little wink. Like, do I get a weapon? He's asking him, I'm going to have my magic back. Aren't you afraid? And he's like, Mobius, like, what? Mobius knows that they're the most powerful force in the universe. And he pretty much dangles a carrot in front of him with an audience from the Timekeepers. And he's like, keep focus. They go back to 1985 to the Renaissance Festival, and they're back. That 80s hair is amazing, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
And they're just explaining, what's happening at the apex of the event. And he's like, didn't you study it all? And he's like, of course I did. Well, he's like, well, as many as I could stand. Yeah. And he called him propaganda.
It is
And then the guy
got that vibe to it.
Yeah, it does. Drink the Kool-Aid. Then the guy behind him, the TVA hunter, asks him, what are these? From his beer can, from his Coors Original can that's on his little shoulder. And Loki tells him, it's reset charges, prune the affected radius of the branch timeline. And he's just repeating verbatim what it is, allowing time to heal all its wounds. And he points it out, which sounds like a nice way of disintegrating everything in the vicinity.
So do you think the kid in like old time France got disintegrated?
Yeah.
Aww.
If they reset the timeline.
That sucks. For the
It makes
kid.
you think. I never thought of it that way. That makes you wonder how benevolent the TVA is at this point.
Mhm.
And then B-15 goes, Loki couldn't have gotten the jump on C-20. And then Loki's like, I think you underestimate. And like, they pull out their Pip-Boy and it's going red.
Mm-hmm. Loki looks very like old-timey, like 80s detective looking.
Noir.
Mm-hmm. Noir.
Guar. But yeah, and they're starting to leave, and Loki says, wait, if you leave this tent, you're going to end up like them. Mobius is like, what do you see? And Loki, is going, I see a scheme. In that scheme, I see myself. And, just all dead serious, just looking at Mobius. And what I'm saying in Asgard is where there are wolf's ears, wolf's teeth are near. Just, I thought that was a great line right there.
I did like that line.
He's like, just saying, be aware. And Loki says, you know, what it means is you need to listen. And I'm the god of mischief. And that's how I've won so many times. But we know he hasn't, because Mobius also pointed out, you lose a lot. So
I like it. But it kind of stuck with Loki a little bit, but he bounced back from it. And he still refers to this new Loki as the lesser Loki.
I think that's just Loki. He's always going to refer to anything as a lesser being. And you know, Loki's like, those you underestimate will devour you if you underestimate me, just as you underestimated this lesser Loki. And he keeps saying, this is why you guys keep dying. And B-15 is like, he's wasting our time. And then Mobius and B-15 are arguing. It's like, we need to look for Loki. And he's like, that's what, you know, Loki's like, that's exactly what they want you to do. And Loki trying to convince him, you know, I'm the key to his plans. And he's telling him he has a new purpose. He doesn't want to, he's a servant of the sacred time. I love that when he just winked at her. He's like, I can deliver you to the variant. But he needs assurances. So you can see Loki popping out here.
Yeah, he's doing his little slimy Loki thing.
Yep.
Trying to work his angle.
And he's like, we'll need to speak to the timekeepers at once. They're in graver danger than we realized. And Mobius is like, he's lying, just playing games. There's no one out there. And they go walking out. Like, reset the timeline. They walk out. They're fine.
I love that he called his bullshit.
Yeah. And he goes, you had me there for a second, but my ears are sharp too, and just points at Loki. And Loki just kind of looks at the ground and runs off.
And see, I don't think what Loki realizes is he's not the first Loki they've dealt with. They've been exposed to many a Loki and many a, you know, shenanigans.
Right.
And so he's not going to easily get one over on him. But yeah, you see everything kind of disintegrate, the evidence of it. So I just wonder if that...
It has to get the timeline back.
Yeah. I'm looking at all this stuff just to see. Now, one thing I do like is in all the other everything that we see, all the tech stuff has a very stark tech look to it, right?
Right. Or Wakanda now.
Yeah. Or Wakanda. And this doesn't. This is its own style of, you know, UI and graphics and all that stuff. It's its own thing. I like that.
Right. I agree. They reset the timeline. Next thing we know, Mobius is in this office. Like, is it just me, or does this office keep getting better and better? There's 3 statues of the timekeepers. You hear this cork are popping.
So let's look here. There's all this stuff. He's bringing attention to the things on the shelves in the wall, and I can't, for the life of me, think of what any of it would go to.
I think it's just random time stuff, you know? There's like an old-timey recording device up there, too.
I'm trying to pull up the Easter egg list while we're doing this.
You do that. So there's someone pouring Mobius a drink. Like, you're not my only analyst. So we know Mobius is an analyst. He's like, by the way, would you say I'm your favorite? And the person turns around, and it was the magistrate, the judge from last episode. So you know that he works for her. He's like, and she goes, you know, I approve the missions. And she goes, you know, very nicely, let's talk about the one you just botched. And she offers him a drink. The variant is insubordinate, stubborn, unpredictable, she says. Like, sounds like someone else I know. She points at Mobius, basically. And Mobius puts his drink down on her little coffee table, and she's like, Mobius, like, what? And he goes, those rings were already there, so we know he's done this a lot.
And they've had a lot of sit-downs.
Yeah, she says, you know, they're all from you. He's like, maybe it's from your other deviant analyst. And then he says, this is pretty important, too. Listen, where's her name? Ravonna. Ravonna. Ravioli? I can't remember how to pronounce her name right, but I think it's Ravonna. So in the comics, she was a princess of another alternate dimension, this planet. And what made this planet unique is it was conquered by King the Conqueror, and then it was deconquered. He basically let them go free. He brought the Avengers in to fight them to show her how strong he was because he fell in love with her.
Here's something random. It's in this. I'm kind of going through these Easter egg things right now. Hexagons are still popping up, and there's one like the coaster that she hands him.
It's hexagon shape. I didn't notice that.
Yeah, so we got hexagons. Yeah, maybe it's just a cool shape.
Anything else?
I don't think anything that we've got to yet. There's just really not a lot. And, it talks about this article from the Nerdist is what I'm looking at right now. That maybe the Renaissance Fair being in 1985 was a kind of a little bit of a throwback. It looks like there was a run of comics just called 1985. Oshkosh is where Wendell Vaughn's mother resides. Wendell Vaughn.
Oh, really? Quasar.
Okay, yeah. Possessor of the alien quantum bands, Wendell. Yeah, Quasar. Solo series in '89. Okay, so yeah, there's kind of that, and then it talks about the Loki variants that we saw earlier. There was normal MCU Loki, Dark World, Tour de France Loki, Hell Hulk, Monster Loki, Green Suit Beard Loki, Sexy War Loki, with their numbers beside them.
Okay. So that's what we were looking at.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, Ravonna.
Oh, here we go.
She,
Here's her souvenirs.
Oh, go ahead.
She keeps souvenirs from the TVA. She has a random roller skate. So he's already talked about the roller skate. I'm saying here to old school Iron Man fans, this can only mean one thing: a reference to when Iron Man had jet powered roller skates in his suit. The skates appeared sporadically in the Avengers' first decade, including the nose era Iron Man. Okay, yeah, the nose era Iron Man. And so saying this may seem random, but the TVA does play with some of the most fun and silliest bits of Marvel lore. So they're going with that one. So what the Nerdist is kind of going with, like they're saying, just kind of be on the lookout for the weird and random stuff that from Marvel lore that could pop up in this.
Sure. You good?
I'm good now. Yep, got that out of my system.
No, I appreciate it. I didn't know about those.
Yeah.
Ravonna. Bravado. So Kang brought her in the Avengers to show how strong he was because he was in love with her. Ended up backfiring. She started a rebellion. She hates him, and she had like a superhero name too. But that's who she was in the comic.
Okay.
So she's got a backstory too. And it's basically Mobius just defending his position right now to her. And he's like, the variant likes to stall for time. We'll eventually catch the other one doing the same thing because they're both Lokis. And she says, look, I know you have a soft spot for broken things. He's like, I don't think so. And she's just trying to she says he's an evil, lying person, Loki. And that's his role in the sacred timeline.
Mm-hmm. So everyone has a part to play.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's kind of part of the main theme of this show.
Yeah. Still has like lingering in the back of my mind is why is this list of events and the way everything is happening and the way they're wanting, why is this the timeline that is chosen?
Right.
it's for a good reason or for a nefarious reason. I'm leaning towards nefarious because that's more
I bet
fun.
it's nefarious too. I bet it's all set up for Kang.
Mhm.
So, and actually, I have a list of every location that the variant's bombed.
Yep.
So we'll go through that later.
I got that too.
Cool.
There's a lot of them. Dang
Yeah.
it. I was hoping I found something unique.
I love that. Not unless the timekeepers decree it, then it shall be so. And you find out Mobius has never actually met the timekeepers.
Mhm.
So, you think she's one of the timekeepers?
No.
You don't think so?
Mm-mm.
I'm trying to figure out what her bigger role is in this. So look at that thing in the back. It looks like a combination of Black Panther's mask, the Black Widow hourglass,
Oh, yeah.
and then maybe a chopstick across the Black Panther's
There's
nose.
a chopstick. We got some olive branches.
The olive branches
there's
and
a-
chopsticks.
Very evil looking goatee. Mephisto.
It's Mephisto. I tells ya.
Found him.
Kyle got it. Kyle wins.
Yay.
And she's just saying, you know, the timekeepers want the variant caught. And this is the last chance you're going to get. And he's like, okay, that's all I need. She signs off on it, gives him the paperwork. And he's like, thank you, R. Slayer. And then, what does that say?
Franklin D.
pen?
Roosevelt High School.
The pen says Franklin D. Roosevelt High School. I wonder what that significance that plays.
I'm gonna look that one up too.
And he's like, you know, I don't remember this. Must be from your other analyst you keep on the side. She's like, eyes on the road. It's like, before you leave, he's like, I'm almost gone. You know, she just asked him, do you believe in the variant? And Mobius's answer is great. He's like, he believes in himself enough for the both of us. He's really arrogant, the very Owen Wilson-like way.
Mhm.
And then he's like, come on. And Loki goes, you're probably wondering what happened on the mission. Just this big little kid smile, and then runs off after him.
Franklin D. Roosevelt. This is a stretch. So there's no FDR High School in the Marvel Universe, but there is one in Brooklyn. So it's unlikely. They don't know. The most famous FDR High School is in Brooklyn, and one major Marvel character went to high school in Brooklyn, Molecule Man. So he does directly tie into Loki's story. His powers are bestowed upon him by outer worldly beings called the Beyonders.
Oh.
Beyonders are also all powerful and exist outside the multiverse. It's very possible that they're actually the same thing. And this is Loki's way of tying the TVA to Molecule Man.
The Beyonders, the one who started Secret Wars too.
Oh. It's a stretch.
So,
It might be something. We're getting right back into WandaVision mode now. We didn't have so much in Captain America or Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Captain America and the Winter Soldier, but I think
this one we do, damn it.
Yeah, I think we keep digging on this one. We'll keep finding cool stuff. And we're just discovering it as we go a lot of the times.
Yeah. And then he's like, you know, he's just bitching at Loki about how he likes to talk. He's like, look, I don't care what makes you think you're here to help me catch the superior version of yourself. And he goes, that's it. I'm not sure superior is actually quite the right word. And you know, they're just arguing. And then, you know, Mobius is just giving the speech why he basically believes he can catch him. He's like, you know, you're arrogant enough that where you want to catch yourself. You want to prove you're superior. That you're not, you know. I don't know where I was going with that. I had something, then I lost
I was waiting for it.
I had something profound.
He wants to be top Loki.
He wants to be top Loki.
Yeah.
Just show his superiority. I was literally going somewhere with that, and I completely lost it.
It happens. It'll come back to you.
It will. We'll be at the end of the show and I'll be like, oh, tech,
Tech, Rekka,
Rekka.
Hunter,
Um,
Echo,
Echo.
Echo.
You actually do that really good.
I
And
practice
then
a lot. I got a lot of free time. I just sit in my office at work, just yelling out random bad
Rekka.
batch names with
Rekka.
a shitty New Zealand accent.
And your boss wonders, you're like, he called me Wrecker today.
You called me a dick? No, I think you said tech. Tech? Dick?
He called me Director Dick. Is that right?
Is that a thing?
And Mobius basically, like, Loki keeps trying to get the upper hand in the battle of wits, and Mobius just reads him like a book. Mobius puts on glasses, says, the library is open. I'm reading you to filth. He's like, what? You're going to meet with the timekeepers, hustle them, and seize control of the TVA? He's like, am I getting warm? And Loki's face is just like, okay. And Loki asks him, why are you sticking your neck out for you? He's like, I'll give you two options. You can believe what you want. And because he's a scared little boy shivering in the cold, and you kind of feel bad for the ice runt. Or B, I just want to catch this guy, and I'll tell you whatever I need to tell you. You think it's A or B? I think it's a combo.
Mm-hmm. I think it's more B. He's just going to tell him what he's done. Yeah.
You think so? I think it's a combo.
He's dealt with enough Lokis.
And he's telling him, this is your last chance. And he's like, how does this work? He's like, work. Loki just questions, like, work?
Go clock in, Loki.
Loki does not clock in with Kronos. They're going down this elevator, this is a really impressive structure.
Mm-hmm. You get a better. I like these statues of them a lot better.
Me too.
The Time Guardians, a little bit more detail. You can see the mustache a lot better.
Yeah, the mustachio.
Mm-hmm.
And he tells him, hey, I need you to go through all the files and give me your Loki perspective. And he's like, park it at this desk. Don't be afraid to really lean into this work. Here's a good trick for you. Pretend like your life depends on it. He's like, I'm going to go get a snack. Leaves him there. I wonder what that 372 represents in the back, too.
Probably just something to screw with us.
Probably.
If I was a writer for these shows, I would put in so much just nonsense bullshit for people to look up. Because guys like us, we're really going to try to find stuff.
You're going to obsess over it.
Yeah.
I do love how they have the Pip Boys and the, magic squares to Nowhere Land.
Mm-hmm.
And all these files are all old Xerox copies, handwritten on line paper.
Mm-hmm. There was a thing I read earlier about, well, we'll get to when we get to more on the jet ski stuff. Remind me, and
Okay.
On my 90s theory I came across.
Okay. Loki's just going through all these. Like, I swear he was going to make a paper plane or something and throw it at someone. Yeah. And he's like, oh my goodness, don't tell me the variant killed another team of Minutemen and stole the reset charges as well. And librarian Shirley behind him, like, she's the lady in Ghostbusters. She goes, shh. Yeah. All right, guys, ready? 1, 2, 3, get her.
I was thinking of the one from what was the librarian from Indiana Jones Last Crusade, and he's like stamping
Oh
things,
yeah.
and they're busting through the floor, like he stamps, it's like bong.
That's right, I forgot about that. I need to rewatch that one. By the way, these mechanical keyboards that they have are everything with the tricolor.
I'm getting okay, so I caught this, or I saw this, and I was thinking, like, is this an actual old keyboard, or is this because these little 60% 10 keyless mechanical keyboards like this are like the thing now, like that's what you want because they don't take up much desk space, and so a lot of them look old and retro like this too.
Right.
Like, is this an old one? Or is this a new one that's it's got all the function keys? I don't see anywhere symbols on it. The font on the keys look really old school, though. I don't know.
Very Halloweeny.
Yeah, as he types around, I guess we can see. Yeah, let's see if we can see like a Windows key or something. Nope, you can't.
No, you don't see anything. That's the problem. So Loki goes up to this very dour-looking librarian.
Mm-hmm.
He's
Very
like,
serious.
She's very serious. Like, hello. So she ignores him. So he rings the little crappy bell, and she stops and looks at him. She's like, "Can I help you?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm in some important TVA business. Follow up to a field mission. You know how it goes." It's almost like he's hitting on this lady.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's like trying to be personable and charming. And he's like, she's not buying it. He's like, "I'd like all the files pertaining to the creation of the TVA, please." It's like, she goes, "Those are classified. Everything he's asking is classified." He's like, "End of time. Classified."
Mm-hmm.
She did a great job of ignoring him.
Very just deadpan.
Mm-hmm. She gave him some files, and then it was variant case, and then it's L1130. And it's just another Loki file. None of the stuff he was asking for. Then he comes across a paper in an event inquiry. It says the destruction of Asgard.
If you go back a little bit before we get to that, and I'm rewinding, taking over.
Go ahead.
God dang it, Loki! It's okay. So you can see behind him. I'm doing the mouse pointing thing too. The floors, you can see like SYF, LK3.
Yeah.
That's all that's from the elevator from the first episode. We're like, what all is this?
Okay. So that tells you what floor they go to.
Yeah, but we still don't know what they mean. So
they mean something, or they mean nothing. Bravo, Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
So he's looking through this, and it's the destruction of Asgard, and a lot of people are like, yeah. So what? He knows about Ragnarok. No, he doesn't. This is Loki who escaped right after Avengers. This is pre-Ragnarok. This is a full year and a half before Ragnarok.
Yep.
Actually, I think it might have been longer than that. And then he saw total planetary destruction. You know, no survivors. Basically, his entire civilization annihilated, and he starts tearing up.
Apparently, there's only like 9,700 Asgardians. It's not
which
very
is
many.
Nuts to me.
Yeah, it wasn't. I mean, it wasn't a huge place, but it's really small for a race of people.
Yeah. And then he's looking like there's 0 variance energy detected, and then he puts 2 and 2 together. Kind of looks up, does that 80s montage aha moment, and runs off with the file. And then
So he goes from being upset to like, aha. He's like, he's over it.
He finds Mobius with that. What kind of cola was that?
Josta.
He's with another Josta cola can.
Yeah, it was like a competitor to Jolt, I think.
And so, what was that? Be Pepsi?
I think Pepsi. It was independent, and I think one of the big ones took it over, and then it went away.
Okay. Because I vaguely remember it. You know, Mobius is like, I told you, don't talk to me till you read through all the files. And he's like, I can tell you about the apocalypse. And he's like, the apocalypse is like any time in history. He goes, Ragnarok, are you familiar? He's like, yes, the destruction of Asgard and most of its people. I'm sorry. And Loki's just like, yes, very sad. Anyways, it got me thinking, you know, very
like,
Loki-like.
How disconnected he was from it. But
100%.
Now we're back to Nexus events.
Uh-huh. And he talks about, you know, Nexus event happens when someone does something they're not supposed to do, right? I love this part here. Well, it's a little bit more complicated, but he's like, the thing that they're not supposed to do cascades into a whole range of other things that aren't supposed to happen, you know, which is the whole cascade environment, the downhill environment. He's like, so Loki's like, let's just say, he's like, what are you doing? Your salad is Asgard in this scenario. He goes, it's not Asgard, that's my lunch. And he's like, it's a metaphor. Just hang in there. Like, I want that salad.
Mhm.
Then I could go down to Asgard before Ragnarok causes complete destruction. I can do anything I want. I could, let's say, push the Hulk off Rainbow Bridge. And, he's just going, he's pouring like salt. He goes, in the salt's Hulk. He's like, yes. He's like, and here's some pepper, like, fire. And I mean, he's really laying it onto the salad. And Mobius is just looking pissed at this point.
And he's like, I could set fire to the palace. I could push Hulk off, and I say nothing dictates. How do you word that? I could do nothing goes against the dictates of time, because, and then he's setting it up for the apocalypse. So he goes and grabs another. Oh no! Does he grab? What's that? A juice box?
Yeah, it looks like a juice box. It's from the dude at the front desk.
Poor guy.
Yeah, that's a juice box. See the apple?
Mm-hmm.
And he pours out the apple juice into the salad. You're like, there's the apocalypse. Ragnarok obliterated the salt. And Loki just looks like he's having a good time squeezing that out. Like, Ragnarok. There it is. And he just looks pleased. He's like, yeah, it was a big clumsy metaphor. It doesn't matter. It could be any apocalypse. And he just explained, it could be any of these things. Oh, go on for a second. I'm going to turn on the light.
Okay. So as I said, like, no matter what he does, it's not going to matter because everything's going to be wiped out. That's where he's at, because that timeline is not. There's no branch left to it. That's the end of that timeline. Now, this kind of throws me off a little bit from the sacred timeline theme. Okay.
I'm with you.
Because what every representation that they show of the sacred timeline is a straight line, just the line. Right? What he's saying is this branch ends. So there's branches, like this is where we're going to get to the whole time theory and shit that makes our head hurt. But it's not a straight line. There's branches, there's stories that branch off the main timeline, or that are branches of the main timeline, but then they end.
Which would mean maybe the TVA reset it?
Maybe. But he's talking about the apocalypse. The apocalypse is going to cause an end to that branch of the timeline.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So he's like, no, I'm not going home. I'm not going anywhere. And he basically says that, like you were saying, these timelines end. So that's where they're going to be hiding out at, this variant, because there's no way to detect it. There's no variants that they can track them with. Because it's a Loki, they know better. And he's like, I'm not going to kill you. He's like, you've literally stabbed people in the back like 50 times. He's like, well, I'll never do it again. It got old. So now we're at getting to the buddy criminal cop.
Yeah.
Storyline.
They're getting kind of but little buddy-ish.
Yeah.
They're ribbing on each other a little bit.
And Moby's like, okay. He's like, look, you don't trust me. You can trust one thing. I love to be right. And so next thing you know, they're at, where are they, Kyle?
Pompeii.
What happened in Pompeii?
A lot of shit. Is that Vesuvius?
Vesuvius. Yep. 79 AD.
Big explosion.
Those who don't know, the volcano exploded, covering the town. Like, whole bodies have been preserved because of the ash.
Mm-hmm. Really tragic. And like that, Pompeii and Vesuvius, like, it's a super tragic story, right?
Right.
Because you can see, like, it was just instant and people didn't have anywhere to run, and they find these bodies huddled together, and families, and
like the parents holding
the
infant.
kids and all that. And Loki's like, all right, we're going to test something. Let's go here.
And Mobius keeps saying, we can't do anything to impact history.
Mm-hmm.
I love this part.
Just start off small, make little small bird noises.
It's like bird noises.
Test your theory. And he runs. What's he jump? Oh, he hops on. He lets these goats go. That's what it is. Be free, my horn friends, be free. And then he starts speaking in Latin, which is their language, and like just basically telling everything. Like, I'm Loki, we're agents of the TVA. I bring you dark tidings. So he's just being super ominous and like something that would make an impact in history because somebody would probably remember this and write it down.
Yep.
He's telling the volcano's about to erupt, and he's giving his spiel in a very Loki way. He's telling him he's from the future.
I would know because I'm from the future. He's like a used car salesman. What's the TVA?
Future-y.
Yeah, it's true. All of a sudden, you hear the volcano rumble and it explodes. He goes right on cue.
He just starts throwing stuff.
Throwing veggies at people. Eat your last meal. Nothing has any consequence. Dance while you still can. And Mobius looks at his pit boy.
I just saw something weird. Hold on.
What?
When did they say it was 80 or 59 AD?
79 AD, I thought.
And was Pompeii. 79 AD. Okay. I want to look at why this was there. Okay, why are we at the same spot where you can see the wall with the Roman numerals? Are we synced up that well? 2658.
I'm at 2708.
You're at 2708.
Oh, I saw with the XXX.
That's the year that they're in. Why would they have the year that they're in painted on the wall?
Wait, there's 7 X's on there?
Well, we'll get to it. And that's this thing here. So I get the right time. There we go. So 26 minutes, 57 seconds. LXXIX. That's 79. Pompeii happened in AD 79. Why do they have the year painted on the wall of the...
That's a good question. That's a really good question. Good catch, sir. That's a really good question.
Let's see if anybody's answered that. Carry on, sir.
All right.
I'm back down the rabbit hole.
Loki says, enjoy your last meal while you can. And this is what we do. One of us will explain, the other will start going down the rabbit hole. And then we'll both get down the rabbit hole. Loki's just being weird. He's like, dance while you can. And you hear the rumbling. And he's like, how'd we do? Like, Mobius like, I don't believe it. Zero variance energy. The timeline isn't branching. He's like, the TVA wouldn't even know we're here. If it were me, this is where I would hide. And Loki gives this really shitty smile, and in comes the smoke. And he's like, doomsdays. The variances are hiding out in the doomsdays. For this theory to hold, the disasters have to be natural occurring, sudden, no warning, no survivors. Loki's like, how many could there be? And he's like, we're gonna find out. Loki's asleep on the desk, and Mobius is just reading the files. And he whacks him. He's like, hey, come on, let's take a walk. And Loki's like, I'm so tired. I'm so tasty.
Sleepy. I want a juice box and a nap.
I'm so sweet and tasty. And they go to the cafeteria, and he's like, by the way, your desk, the magazine. He's like, yeah, the one on jet skis. He's like, why do you have that? And Mobius just explains it. He's like, because they're awesome. He's like, some things actually, most things in history are kind of dumb, and everything gets ruined eventually. In the early 1990s, for a brief shining moment, there was a beautiful union of form and function. Obviously talking about Kyle, which we call the jet ski, and a reasonable man cannot differ. And he's like, he asked him, have you ever been on one? And Mobius like, nope. I think a TVA agent showing up on the jet ski in the sacred timeline would create a bunch of branches for sure. So which means, do these people ever get breaks?
Probably not.
You know what I mean?
Here's the theory thing that I came across when I was digging through all this stuff. So he drinks Josta.
Right.
He's obsessed with jet skis. There was something else very 90s that he did. I can't remember what it was. But the theory was like, what if like he was created, because the timeline there does move differently, right?
Yep.
But what if he was like created in the 90s, or the TVA was created in the 90s on the sacred timeline? That's when it was created, and then they started bouncing back and forth through time. And that's why there's so much either 90s stuff in there. Or maybe that's him coming from the 90s. It was kind of a thin thing, but it seemed cool.
I get where you're going with that. Like he's a man out of time from the 90s.
Hmm.
Okay, so do you think he'd be a little boy in the 90s or like a teenager, young adult?
I think he just got created at the age he is.
I'll go with that theory.
I think they were all, because you don't see any kids running around here.
Mm-mm.
I mean, they are in the official offices, but the official offices span the entire complex, it looks like. See no children. We haven't seen any children in this realm yet.
Right.
And so that leads me to believe that they were all created as you see them, because it said early on in the first episode that not just the TVA was created by the workers were also
Timekeepers.
created by the timekeepers.
So they're all just constructs, basically.
That's how I took it.
I didn't even think about that.
I'm
Good
sure
one.
we'll find out. We only have,
Yeah.
after this, 4 episodes. This is only a 6-episode run.
I know.
So
This would be super short.
it'd be cool to see them wrap this up in a nice little bundle.
He's like, I can't believe you get hung up on this. And he's like, what did he say? He said,
Call them 3 magic lizards.
yeah, the 3 magic lizards. I love that.
And I like Mobius's line. I don't get hung up on believe, not believe. It just is what it is.
I accept.
Yeah.
And Loki's like, every time I start admiring your intelligence, he never finished. And he said, every time I start to admire your intelligence, he says something like that. Okay, who created you, Loki? And he's like, a frost giant in Jotunheim. And who raised you? Odin of Asgard. Odin, god of heavens. Asgard, mythical realm beyond the stars. This is Mobius talking. Frost giants, listen to yourself. And Loki's like, it's not the same. It's completely different. He's like, no, it's exactly the same thing. Because if you think too hard about what of who we really are, it's ridiculous.
I said where any of us came from, it's really ridiculous.
Yeah.
He said something about chaos here. If we think too hard about where any of us came from, who we truly are, it sounds ridiculous. Existence is chaos. So I think that goes back to the whole construct theory of them.
Yeah.
He does not, the deeper side of it, he doesn't want to think about where he came from. Mobius doesn't want to think about where Mobius came from.
Right.
He's a construct. The rest of them are.
And Mobius just says,
Sticking a pin in it.
I don't believe in this basically higher existence. I believe, and it's it. Loki's like, there's no such thing as free will. And I mean, it's this deep philosophical conversation. And Loki's like, you and I here at the TVA, we're the only ones who are actually free. And Mobius is like, where are you going with this, Loki? Loki's like, how does it all end? And Mobius is like, that's a work in progress. And he talks about, because while we protect what came before, they're toiling away in their chamber, untangling the epilogue from its infinite branches, saying that the timekeepers, just because you can't see them, doesn't mean they're not doing anything.
Yeah. This is a very middle management thing to say, taking up for upper management.
Yep.
They're working really hard up there in the tower. I promise they're not off playing golf.
And like, hey, what are they doing on that golf cart?
Making deals.
Hey, you guys, bye.
Yeah. Keep an eye on that branch of the timeline.
I'm back.
Game of Conqueror's a terrible putter. Short game is weak.
We kind of have too much fun together. And then, throughout their conversation, they're talking about, just deep philosophical conversations. And then Mobius gets this aha moment. He's like, you're very clever. And Loki just looks confused. He goes, I know
I am. Yeah. It's like when Chris tells me I'm very handsome. I'm like, I know.
Yeah, I know. No one has to tell me twice.
Yeah, but Make
You
me
are
feel good
handsome.
make me feel good for a day. I appreciate that.
All our female listeners, you should all hang pictures of Kyle on your wall.
I got one of me on the wall.
Actually, he does.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. You guys can't see it, but
It is actually really cool. He said, "Hey, one of these variants left a clue behind," and he went and got that kablooey gum that was from the first episode that that French kid had.
hey, gang, we have a clue.
I'm getting a clue right now.
That's such a clue.
I'm getting a raging clue.
I'm glad I didn't make a Blue's Clues joke because that would have made everything really weird just then. Let's look in our handy dandy notebook.
What do you think, Loki? Again, thank you all for coming on this
There is probably a
journey with us.
branch of the timeline where Loki does become blue
Blue.
from Blue's Clues, because if there's infinite timelines, that probably happened.
Blues Loki.
Mm-hmm. You just figured out Loki's clues. No, that doesn't go as good.
Now we just figured out. He'd still be blue.
Yeah, he would still be blue.
Blues Clues. Now we'll stab him in the back. Loki does awful things to Mr. Salt.
Can you guys say deception?
Hey, we're going to call Thor. Hi, Thor.
Yay! Son of a bitch.
Okay, so kablooey gum. Loki's like, what's that? And he's like, do you have candy on Asgard? And yeah, grapes, nuts. He's like,
Grape
no wonder
nuts.
you're so bitter. He said kablooey is only sold regionally on Earth from 2047 to 51.
You just pull out a kablooey file. Like they had a file on kablooey. I guess they have files on everything.
Yeah.
Still weird.
It's
Oh,
1251.
that makes me worry about what all they could have.
On you.
Mm-hmm. I can explain a lot of things.
We call this the hand on yourself period.
Ah, it's an aha moment. Lonely teenager. Listen, TVA.
Even then, for Kyle, it was tough love.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Will you sign off on this? This is everything that you said or did? Mm-mm. No. Nope, not going to do it.
I refuse.
Just prune me now. I don't want to relive a bunch of that. Actually, I would be kind of curious to go through there and read some of the stuff that I don't remember that happened.
That would be kind of fun.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
And then other times I'd be reading it and going, oh, God, what was I thinking?
That was a terrible idea.
And to
I'd
this
probably
day,
still
it's
do
still
it
a bad
again, but
idea.
that was a terrible idea.
But then I'd look back and go, Ding Dong Ditch is still funny.
Mm-hmm. Riding a kayak down the icy highway in sub-zero temperatures. That was a good idea. We'll do that again.
Shotgunning those 12 Keystone lights was not a good idea.
Yeah. Oh, they got an octobong. This seems like a great idea. No, that's a terrible idea.
No, he's pushing it back at his end through that. No, don't drink that part.
Yeah. The old octobong.
What a great day.
That was a terrible, great, terrible invention.
Bless you, Octobomber.
Mm-hmm.
Wait. Maybe not.
Maybe not.
Mobius tells Loki, I'm going to give you half. And let's have a competition. See who finds it. He's doing what he does to like a 4-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
Let's play for pride. Okay, may the best man win. Go. And, they're looking through these files. He's like, it's not the climate disaster of 2048 or the tsunami of 2051. 2050, the extinction of the swallow. Is that a thing? He's like completely screwed up the ecosystem. And this is something. This is another reference, if I'm right.
Okay.
Krakatoa. I believe that's the living island that the X-Men first. That's where like they first met Colossus and stuff.
Let me look here because that's on we had the same list, right? I don't see
I'm looking it up
Krakatoa on
here.
the list. Oh, these are timelines that were messed with. I don't have the Apocalypse timeline. Krakatoa, Marvel.
Oh, Krakatoa is actually an exploding volcano in
Oh,
Indonesia. There's one that looks like that.
there was a Marvel. Okay, there was an issue called Krakoa,
Yeah, that's what I was thinking about.
the island that walks like a man.
And I think they live on that right now.
Krakoa, and it's a 616.
Yeah, it starts
I mean,
616. And if you look it up, that's where you first met like Colossus, the new X-Men. And I think that's where Wolverine was part of that group.
oh, that's cool.
So Krakatoa is a real place. Sorry, all you Krakatoans.
Mm-hmm. No, they're probably not listening.
So would that make some of the people there Krakos?
Krakahoans.
Krakahoans?
Mm-hmm.
Krakahoans. It erupted in 2049. No kablooey. And then they're looking, and then cyclone, famine, volcanoes, floods, and then Loki goes, got him. Points it out there, and then shows this is where he is, Alabama 2050. They're about to get wiped out by a hurricane. It was a hurricane, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And Mobius is trying to basically get the equivalent, I think, of a search warrant for a full team. And he's like, this place was owned by this, what is it, Roxicart? And it's like all the food you need, water.
Find it here. It's Rock. Yeah, I think it's Roxcart. ROXX.
Okay.
ART. Roxcorp. Roxcorp. Roxcart.
Okay. And it's basically just Mobius trying to convince her, give me the warrant for a full team, is what it is. And he's like, I'm chomping at the bit. And she finally just gives in. It's like, okay. Because, he's Owen Wilson with that Hopa wormwood.
Mm-hmm. I'm looking up the significance of Roxcorp. Do you know anything on that?
I don't. I figured it might play a part, but I knew nothing on that one.
Apparently, it's an evil corporation. Evil. Comes from Captain America. They're a oil conglomerate, Roxxon, which is, obviously a knockoff of Exxon. They become a go-to evil corporation in the Marvel Universe. They had kept a connection to Serpent Squad, also ties to Hydra. They were one of the earliest financial supporters of S.H.I.E.L.D., but also worked with Hydra at the same time.
So they have a long and storied history in the Marvel Universe.
Been involved in plenty of supernatural shenanigans, including an ongoing saga with a psychic crown, which put them on a collision course with the Secret Avengers. Have we seen them before? It's been in a couple of movies, mostly in TV shows. They created a atom bomb in Agent Carter. Some stuff in Cloak and Dagger. That's about it. I mean, they were just, a bad evil corp.
Right. So they just sucked.
Mm-hmm. They were the money people.
They're like your Hydras and everything else.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because I'm trying to look too, and no, I don't know anything about them. I mean, it looked familiar. It's one of those. It looks familiar, but I don't know. I couldn't find anything. Okay. And Loki's like, we're doing some good work today. And he's like, I'm telling you, you can actually help us catch this variant. Who knows? And he's like, what, good enough to face the timekeepers? And like, I didn't say that. And he actually gave him a weapon, and then B-15 took it away from him.
Those were his knives.
Oh, were they?
Yeah, and look at Loki's. Let's go back. Look at Loki's face when he hands them to him. That might be your cover. Let's see if I can pause it.
Get ready to pause it.
I'm hovering the space bar. I'm gonna try to hit this just right.
That? No, you got to go back a little bit. There was a better one where his mouth was open.
Oh shit! You do it. I'm gonna do it wrong. Well,
Okay.
It's gonna pause differently on my end than your end. There's we got some lagginess there.
There it is.
For me.
For me?
It's like, look how happy he looks to be getting his knives.
A present for me?
B-15's like, nope, bitch. And taking them and throwing them back in the locker. And it looked like she was about to break character when she did that. When she goes to put them back in the locker, watch her face. Like, she's trying to keep from laughing. You can see
right there. I saw it.
Right.
Yep,
Yeah.
right there.
Mm-hmm.
I guarantee. I wonder if that was scripted or not.
Well, could you imagine, Hiddleston and Wilson together? Like, there's a lot of joke cracking.
Yes.
Like, a lot of shenanigans on this set. Had to be.
I bet it was fun. And they said that, there's a lot of women, children. This is a class 10 apocalypse. He could be hiding anywhere in this place because this place is about to get wiped off the face of the map.
Well, and they said this is a category 8 hurricane apocalypse level event that they're going to. There's not even that's not even on the scale. I don't think. Hurricane scale.
We're not hurricane experts.
We're not.
We're pretty sure there's not, though.
Hurricane wind scale. It only goes up to category 5. So they're saying this is a category 8 hurricane.
Well, then we see this.
Yeah, category 5 is like 157 miles an hour or higher wind. So yeah, this is gonna be a bad bitch.
Well, then you look, that sign gets disintegrated, and then you see all these buildings and homes getting just swallowed up by the sea. They all come out in the middle of this rain, and they're like, no, nothing, just move out.
Here's something to kind of go off of how serious this apocalypse level event is, because they talk about a lot. So there is a hypothetical category 8 hurricane that to be a category 8 hurricane, the wind speeds would be between 246 and 324 miles per hour.
And that's an 8?
That's what a hypothetical category 8 hurricane would do. So that's like top level tornado wind speeds spread out over hundreds of miles, hitting at once instead of a little cone hitting. So just for reference for you guys, for all you weather nerds out there.
They come in, in the rain, and Loki dries off, and B-15's like, the hell was that? He's like, use magic to dry off. That way they won't hear me coming like the rest of you idiots. And they're trying to pick teams, and like Loki's just like, I understand I got to earn this trust. Why? He goes, and why is it people that say trust me is the people you can't trust?
I got a point.
And so, Loki's going with B-15. And we see the masked person on the security monitors watching the whole thing.
Mm-hmm. Bum, bum, bum. Very nefarious.
Well, and then you got the Freddy Fazbear roaming the hall.
I saw that.
And then the Loki variant starts the Pip-Boy countdown from 20 minutes. You see Loki just sitting there, he's walking down, looking at the begonias and stuff, this aisle with B-15.
Some nice begonias.
Those are nice begonias.
Are they even begonias? We need some plant nerds too.
I don't know what they are. Maybe tulips.
Oh,
And then they go look, and there's this guy who's over there looking. at the flowers. He's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. They're like, what are you doing? He's like, shopping for plants. And Loki, in this
Is it-
storm.
Azaleas are half off. It's a hurricane sale.
Yes.
And so he's saying like that's she's like, could that be used? Like, maybe. I like
I
how
would have worn a suit.
he's not very sure about it. He's like, could be. Probably.
Why not?
Sure.
Well, and then you see what he said? He said, I would have worn a suit.
Yeah.
Okay, so they go and she goes to get the guy and he grabs her wrist real quick and it glows green. That same one we saw earlier. And then B-15 turns around and goes, is he dead? And she goes, no, they usually survive. And he just has this confused look on his face. So you're the fool the TVA brought in to hunt me down.
Okay, so when this happened, when I watched it the first time, when I didn't catch how the guy grabbed her arm,
Mm-hmm.
I thought she grabbed his arm and made him fall down. So like for about a minute, I was thinking like, oh God, she's been the variant the whole time. I didn't catch.
Oh, I saw.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I missed it. I didn't catch it right. And I was
I
like,
can
oh,
see, but I can see why you would say that.
Yeah.
Keep your friends close. Keep your Keep your enemies close.
keep your friends close, keep your enemies closer.
Yeah. I
Don't
can
get
see
involved
what
in
you're
a land war in Asia. And
or Antarctica.
Princess
wasn't
Bride.
it?
That was from Princess Bride.
Was it?
Mhm.
Which part?
When he was having the battle of the minds, he said you fell victim to one of the greatest blunders, or one of the two greatest blunders. One is never get involved in a land war with Asia. The other, more importantly, is don't engage in a battle of the minds with a Sicilian when something's on the line. I can't remember it exactly, but it's pretty close.
Okay. I love Princess Bride too. Can't believe I didn't get that. Is a WoW.
Whoa.
Ooh, WoW.
Marriage is what brings us together.
Here together today. And then he goes, Loki's like, me, I presume. He's like, please, if anyone's anyone, you're me. And she just gives him the smile. And then Loki gives a smile. It's the Loki smile if you look at it.
Mm-hmm.
Both of them did it.
So good.
You see, like, you hear this baby crying. They go into this shelter, you know, in the store, and it says Hunter D90. Check the bags for the reset charges. And this old guy comes over and he's like, you know, he works there. You can tell.
Yeah.
Hey, how'd you guys get here? If you got a copter or other transport, now's the time to use it.
Of course, his name's Hank.
Which one's Hank?
He's got a little scrolly name tag.
Does it really?
His name tag's like a little marquee thing. It says Hank.
Okay, that's actually kind of awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so Hank's talking to him.
Mhm.
I didn't even catch that. Good catch. And he's like, "How the heck did you get here?" And the Dick Hunter, I think that's why he's D90. Oh wait, it's even worse. I think that's a website.
Oh, you guys look that up. Let us know. Tell us in the comments.
Harry, check it out. Let us know if Dick Hunter is a website.
Mm-hmm. Let's talk about it in the Discord.
Coda.
Anybody?
Chof, Harry, Bueller. Someone look up Dick Hunter. And you know, Moby's like, what are you doing? These people are scared. You know, they're about to die. They should be scared. And he's like, okay, not of us. So that's, I think, Mobius's angle. He's empathetic.
Mm-hmm.
And then they see this, like, so you got to see this. And they find C20. And they're like, she's just going, it's real. It's real. It's real. It's real. She keeps muttering. And he's saying enchantment is a clever trick. Cowardly, a bit amateurish, but, you know, clever.
Mm-hmm.
And Loki's like, you know, they're just having a conversation between the Lokis, a meeting of the Lokis. And then this other guy goes, hi, are you guys looking for the disaster shelter? And she's like, no.
Just here to help.
And she touches him and turns into this other person. So do you think there's a time limit on how long they can be possessed? That's why she keeps switching.
I'm starting to think that now. Because why would you switch to that guy? You had armor and a weapon.
I know. What is good to know, though, in 2050 is Dove still exists as body washes.
Yep, there's some of that.
Oh, there's some Old Spice, too.
Well, down the bottom, what's that called? It's the Utter Bomb stuff. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes, yes.
Crap. I can't think of the name of it now.
Oh, there's the Garnier, too. Lots of Suave.
It's Utterly Smooth Body Cream.
Yes, yeah. The cow stuff.
Yep.
Yep.
It looks like there's still Axe, though.
Yeah, Axe is still there.
Damn it.
That's what happens when you go film at Walmart.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you go, damn it.
Yeah. Stupid Axe.
Next thing you know, Loki goes to check on B-15. It's like, oh, bless. Are you going to call your little friends to help? And he starts chuckling. This Finch-like motherfucker. I don't like his smirk.
I don't think you're supposed to.
And Loki's like, what's the matter? Are you too scared to meet me face to face? He's like, show yourself. Gaining their confidence was no mean feat. And then the enchantment Loki turns around and goes, oh my God, you went undercover. Loki's like, if you could possibly sheathe your smarm for a minute, I have an offer for you. That's why I found you. And Loki goes, go on. Loki 2.
Loki also.
And Loki original goes, I'm going to overthrow the timekeepers. And cards on the table, I could use a qualified lieutenant. And Loki, the sequel goes, I assume you mean me. It's like, what say you, Loki? And Loki goes, ugh, don't call me that. You can call me Randy. Which is the name of the guy.
Randy.
He goes, God, now I understand why Thor found this so annoying.
There's something that's bothering me about this scene.
What's that?
All the product on the shelves. So this is in what year is this supposed to be?
2050.
2050. So almost 30 years from now, right?
Right.
None of the logos are any different. None of the branding.
Charmin's the same.
Everything's the same. All the Pepsi, all the product placement stuff is still the same.
Yeah, that's true. They didn't evolve, did they?
No, it's like they're stuck. That's going to
bother
past,
me for literally.
a long time.
That's kind of scary. They need to fire their advertising people.
Yeah. Well, they probably did, and they're just stuck with the same thing.
For 50 years. Randy walks off with Loki, and then we see one of the resets being primed and connected to something. And then you see the hunter go, it's real. They're going, she's off the dial. Like, look at me. She's like, I want to go home. And Moby's like, we're going to get you there. Call the TVA. Let the infirmary know. She goes, no. I gave it away. And it's like, what did you give away? The timekeepers, where they are. So she was tortured. I gave away how to find them. Like, B-15, what's your status? And she's still down for the count. But then she starts waking up when they start yelling her name. And, oh, look, there's the Epsom salt, too. The foot stuff on the bottom shelf.
Yep. All still the same branding.
Yep. And then Loki's going after Randy's. If you don't want to rule the TVA, what do you want? He's like, it doesn't matter. You're too late. I found your hiding place like that. I'd say that makes me the superior Loki, wouldn't you? It still cracks me. He has to be the superior Loki.
Let's stop here for I know I want to look at something else again. I want to look at the stuff on the shelves because this is bothering me.
Oh, there's a HyperX.
There's HyperX, Razor accessories, Alienware. I'm gonna try to. I thought I saw something. I'm trying to catch a glimpse of
Alienware.
HyperX Cloud earbuds. I looked at a pair of those today because it's
Okay.
Prime Day. So those earbuds are still around 30 years in the future. That makes me think I should have bought a pair because they look like they're really hanging
Good
in
shape.
there.
You should have.
There's a Razer Mamba mouse on there. Charge Play Duo for the play. Look, you can even see it on there. It says PS4. See the Charge Play Duo? That's for charging your controllers.
What, you saw PS4? That means that Sony really needs to up their game.
Well, you can tell that that's for charging PS4 controllers. That's what that. This bothers me.
Yeah.
This bothers me so bad.
But it's
It is
great
when this is,
because
isn't it? I'm going back and look. You keep going. I'm going down another
Loki's
thing.
confused because he sees all, he sees that the bombs are all linked together all around. Then he gets kicked in the gut by Bubba.
Oh yeah, 2050. Oh look, I'm not the only one that's noticed this. There's a whole article about it.
About what? The
Marvel fans notice outdated tech on Roxcart shelves. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Marvel kind of.
Specifically, one of the items is a HyperX Charge Play Duo device, allowing gamers to charge 2 PlayStation 4 controllers at the same time. The other box is a set of Bluetooth
You called it.
HyperX earbuds.
You called it, dude. You definitely called it.
Now, 29 years ago from today would have been 1992, a time when car phones were all the rage and Seinfeld was practically getting started. So that's your reference point. That's, yeah.
Jesus.
Take that for what it is.
We're
Anyway,
old.
carry on.
Loki goes, lure us all here so you can blow the place up. And all of a sudden he gets kicked by Bubba. Loki switched again. So there has to be a time limit.
Mm-hmm.
And Loki goes, I miss Randy. Gets kicked across the floor
I like
again.
it.
Like, okay, so Loki weighs 575 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
He's getting kicked across the floor like it's nothing.
Well, Bubba here's a big guy.
He is, but not, I don't know any big guys who can kick a 525-pound weight across the room.
You don't know many Bubbas.
Or do I?
Come to Butthead.
Oh.
There's sound bars down there with speakers.
That's a Yamaha.
This is just going to bother me to no end. I don't even care about Loki getting his ass kicked. I'm going to see what the prices are on these things. Oh, they're having a flash sale, so that's good.
Was that Cubert? Couldn't look like it. Loki grabs the Roomba
Mm-hmm.
as they're fighting, and the guy punches it. He's like, come on, stop hiding. I love how Roombas save lives. And then he twists it from Loki, and Loki flips over.
And it looks like he's attacking him with like a rainbow. No,
That's looks like a Dyson from
it
the
could be a
big
Dyson.
ball.
They need that in the commercial.
Dude, I got a Dyson.
Mm-hmm. And I kicked Loki's ass with it.
And Loki's getting his ass beat in this.
Look, there's the little robo dogs. Yeah, see, those things are still around in 30 years, and they're not any better. I am so pissed. I can't even with this anymore.
He's out. He's
Come on,
out.
guys. I can't.
No. Time travel pisses Kyle off.
Ah,
He's done.
so much.
Next thing you know, Loki's like kind of out of it still, and Bubba's sitting there setting another charge from his Pit Boy.
That's the Cuisinart's still around.
Yeah, I noticed that too. And Loki gets up, and I love his hair on this part.
It kind of looks like your beard.
It does. Looks terrible. He goes, what do you want from me? He's chuckling. He's like, brace yourself, Loki. And then eyes glow green and falls down.
Passes out in front of all the computers. Fun fact, all those are Intel systems, and they're still on 14 nanometer. So
Then you hear recording of Loki. What do you want from me? And you see these glowing green hands, and then the hooded figure comes and pulls it back, the hood, and it's a female Loki. It's a lady Loki.
She's a
tiny horns.
lady.
She's a lady. Thank you, Tom
Loki,
Jones.
Loki, lady. Yeah.
I love that. You should have saved that for the Nerkie song.
Damn it. We can still do it. Nobody listens
Yeah.
to this anyway.
That's true too. You see all of these arming, and then all of a sudden, the store is dark, and all of a sudden you see the entire store lighting up with all these set charge resets.
Like at least 60 of them.
At least, and they all poured off. Okay, so a couple fun facts. Let me pull up this little list here.
So how do we? Okay, I know I've got the list too. How do we know the list is accurate? Let's go to that really quick. Does it show us in this episode? I don't remember. Or is it from
it shows at the end when after this part here.
Okay, so get your list ready. Let's do that then whenever they show. I know what you're talking about when they show it.
Yep. Okay. So we'll do then. So fun fact. So there's a couple theories on this Loki. This could be Lady Loki. Lady Loki was from Secret War.
Mm-hmm.
Not Secret Wars. Secret Invasion. When they were in Oklahoma. Just a time variant of Loki. And, Loki's gender fluid.
Mm-hmm.
There are some theories that this is Enchantress. She also has the horns. Wears the green. Wears the same low cut dress. Mm-hmm. Except Enchantress is usually found with the Executioner, who we saw in Ragnarok last, played by Carl Urban.
Okay.
And then another one is that this is just like a projection of Loki, which I'm throwing that one out.
So I'm leaning towards Lady Loki with the Oklahoma origins just because of what we had seen earlier.
Sure.
Because they showed, variant Loki that they were chasing like in Oklahoma in 1858.
Right.
I think it was with the oil and the burning of the peoples.
Right.
I think that's.
I'm in between that and the Enchantress, because Enchantress gets her powers from Loki.
Yeah.
And her thing is she controls bodies like that.
So, and there's another thing that I had seen that this could be kind of like a mashup almost type character, because, we're not going to see Lady Thor. We're seeing, what are they going to call her? They're not calling her Lady Thor. They're calling her,
who, Jane?
Yeah.
Jane Foster. They're calling her, what are they calling Jane?
This is not Lady Thor. This is not Thor. This is Thor.
She's just Thor, I thought.
She's just Thor, but I thought there was another. Why not Lady Thor?
She was an awesome Thor. I thought she looked awesome.
When a frog picked up the hammer, he was Throg. What?
Yeah, they just called him a Thor. She was a Valkyrie. She's just a Thor. She was just Thor.
I thought I saw something else. She just becomes Thor. Okay. All right. I mean, I'm good with it.
So, and I don't know Loki had to use the Mind Stone to control people's minds. This one just does it. So that's why I think it could be Enchantress with Loki's signature, because Enchantress gets her powers from Loki. I still like the Lady Thor idea because of the. I like the Lady Loki idea better.
Lady Loki idea. I mean, I still have that pulled up. I was looking at it. God dang it. We've been at this for a while.
I know.
But, because the Oklahoma callback earlier, but the only reason that doesn't totally stick is because Asgard didn't get relocated to Oklahoma. It got relocated to friggin' Norway or wherever. Was it Norway? Yeah.
I think it was.
But it got relocated to Oklahoma in 616 universe, right?
Yep.
Even though this isn't technically 616 and this is his own thing, but it kind
No,
of
they're in 6.
MCU
I don't know where they are right
has its
now.
own number.
I don't know. Time travel makes my head hurt. Next thing you know, they hear where are they going, and then we see there it is right there. We see the back at TVA headquarters. That dude's porn stash is epic, by the way.
Mhm.
Little skinny dude,
here we
huge
go.
porn stash.
MCU universe is Earth 199999.
Niner.
Cinematic universe, yep, one with a bunch of nines.
Oh, that's the cinematic universe.
That's the number designation they've given to it.
Okay, that's why Loki's number's that probably.
Could be.
Oh.
Ooh. So after we get this, are we going to get when all these? We'll get to that.
When Loki met
Sally.
Tori.
What?
Yeah, but
that's impossible.
That's impossible.
That's what I was looking for.
Me fail English? That's impossible. They're looking in the timelines fracturing big time because all those reset bombs. Someone just bombed the time. There it is, right there.
Yep. Okay, so you got the
And
list.
if you look, here's different places. There's Asgard. There's Rome, Italy. Let's go over this list.
All right, let me pull my list up.
All the places that got bombed.
All the places that got bombed. This is all the branches that are forming. Okay, so there's events tied.
All the 9 realms.
Yep.
So the first one was Nilfheim, which is where it's the realm of ice, mist, and cold that's linked with hell, and that's where Hela was trapped.
Oh, I've got a different list.
Ooh, that's good.
Well, this is canon from the comics. This isn't the list we need.
Okay. So Nilfheim is in there, and Loki tangled with Hela in Ragnarok, so Lady Loki might have crossed paths there.
Mhm.
Nowhere was another one. The severed head of the Celestial.
Oh yeah.
Which, when the Eternals hits in November, we're gonna get to meet the Celestials because they created the Eternals.
Oh, that was such a cool place. I forgot about that.
Yeah, it's awesome. Vormir, which is where the Soul Stone resides, and Red Skull, and you have to die to get it.
Yep.
The planet bathed in purple light. Asgard was another one. Sakaar, which is from Ragnarok, where the Games Master was, where technically Hulk had a baby. Well, he sexed up someone who had a baby.
Mm-hmm.
Ego was one of the locations he bombed. So Kurt Russell from Guardians too. He bombed Titan. Or she bombed Titan. She bombed Hala, the home planet of the Kree. Bombed Xandar. Bombed Jotunheim. And then there was Earth locations. Rome, Italy, October 3rd, 1390. Lisbon, Portugal, March 31st, 1492. Isn't that where Columbus sailed off from? Phong Nada, Vietnam, August 3rd, 1522. Barcelona, Spain, 1540. Thornton, USA, October 25th, 1551. Porvo, Finland, July 14th, 1708. Barachkara, Colombia, February 2nd, 1808. Madrid, Spain, July 18th, 1903. New York, USA, September 21st, 1947. Tokyo, Japan, March 1st, 1984. Kingsport, USA, August 2nd, 1999.
Okay, I have some of
Cookville.
these. Okay, I did have the same thing here.
Okay.
So, 1492 Portugal, that's when Columbus sailed, but not from Portugal.
Was it Spain?
Did encourage Portugal to draw up a treaty claiming ownership. That's was okay. So 2301 Vormir, which was weird because that's in the future
Right.
when it was bombed. Thornton, USA, Cookville, USA. Nerdist has nothing on it.
All right.
2004.
Cookville, USA, 1999. Beijing, China, November 23rd, 2005. And then Dartford, England, 2006. Do you have any of those?
So, yep, I've got all those.
Okay.
So we had. I'm just gonna go down my list. We had Asgard in 2004, which is before all of this happened. 1390 Rome. Papal drama was occurring as Pope Boniface IX saw to it that Ladislas was crowned King of Naples. So whatever that is going to have effect on. 1984 Sakar. Nothing there. So that's way early. Let's see here. Bombed Ego in 1392 or 1382. So way before the events of Guardian of the Galaxy. So that's going to have some interesting effects. Bombed Titan in 1982. That's where Thanos hails from. Also, the setting of Marvel's first graphic novel, The Death of Captain Marvel by Jim Starlin, published in 1982. 47 New York was a smallpox outbreak. Key location Agent Carter. 84 Japan, multiple disasters. 0051 Hala, home planet of the Kree. Kingsport, USA, nothing there. 1991 Xandar, homeworld of the Nova Corps. 1991 Quasar number 20. The Fantastic Four teamed up with Quasar in an issue set between Earth and Xandar. And we were talking about Quasar earlier.
Yeah.
Ooh.
That's right.
Ooh.
I wonder if we're going to see Quasar.
2005 Beijing. In the comics, Beijing sometimes holds the eighth gate, a transdimensional portal.
Oh, there's a leak just came out for Marvel merchandise. They have named the leak for Lady Loki.
Named the leak?
Yep, what her name is.
Oh, what is it? Do we
This
want to
document
say?
certifies that these horned helmets were inspired by the elements worn by Loki and Sylvie in the Marvel series. Sylvie is her variant.
I seen that also. That was one that she was trained by Loki, right?
Right.
In Oklahoma?
That I don't know.
Yep. Sylvie Lushton was average girl living in Broxton until the Asgardians moved their home of Asgard to Oklahoma. She woke up one day with magical powers. Those powers were given to her by Loki for yet unknown purposes.
Wait, Sylvie's the name of the Enchantress.
Yeah. Enchantress. Current alias, Enchantress.
So I'm interested to see if they're going to make her Enchantress or female Loki. You know what I mean? At this point. Because, they are known to take some liberties and change stuff.
She was a part of the Young Avengers. And we've seen some lead up for that from WandaVision.
Yeah. I don't know.
Illuminati.
It's all up in the air where they're going to go from here. Okay, I'm going to hit play while you're looking at that. They're just watching, the timeline fracture.
Yeah.
And thanks to this, we now know where the multiverse comes from for Doctor Strange.
It's madness.
We know that it's directly related to this, which is kind of cool how they're interlinking all these shows. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which means, Wanda was doing that at the end. She, and Sylvie just waves bye-bye. Goes through a time portal. This is all going on at the exact same time as WandaVision.
This is
or
going
before.
on. This is way
Because
before.
because they created the mall, but it could have happened. Like, it's time travel. Who fucking knows? Like,
I don't
they
know.
could have literally done it here, right?
Well, yeah. Well, this is in the future now.
This is the future now, but you know what I mean, though. Created the fractured timelines,
Mhm.
the multiverse, and this could have been the exact same point in time when Wanda was doing that reading in the
Oh,
mountains.
yeah.
Remember when she heard her kids? This could be the exact same time.
It could be if fractured the timeline, and that. Yeah. I see what you're saying now.
I mean, it could be wrong, could be right. Who knows? It's just kind of fun to think that this could be it. This could be the point.
WandaVision could have been in a fractured timeline.
Mm-hmm. Or is it the sacred timeline?
And then she's hearing the kiddos from the fractured timeline.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Fucking, I hate time travel.
I do too. I love it and I
Okay.
hate it at the same time because it opens up the door for so many possibilities.
Oh, 100%.
But then trying to keep up with it.
It's impossible. You can't do it. So Loki's looking at this. You hear Mobius yelling, Loki, wait, Loki. And then Loki gets this look on his face and he runs through the time portal.
Whoop.
Yeah. Whoop, whoop. And then that's the end of the episode. Kyle, where do you think we're going from there?
Well, technically we can go everywhere.
I see what you did there.
Mm-hmm. What was that? Looking through the end credits, I thought I saw another hexagon.
I thought I did too. I think it looked more like an Asgardian thing. There's the stain. Oh, did you see that at the end?
No. Gotta go back again.
Hold on. Let me see if I see that. If I saw what I thought I saw.
There's the variants.
Okay.
That's Loki's file.
I thought I saw. Because his name is what? Loki what?
I forgot. 1 something something something.
Laffy son?
Oh, yeah, Laffy son.
Sylvie's name is going to be then Laffy daughter.
I don't think so.
It could be. Loki, Laffy son, Sylvie Laffy daughter.
Sylvie Loki kid. If he gave
Who
her the
knows?
powers.
No, it would make sense.
Hmm.
It's not, but it could. There's the kablooey gum.
Yeah, all these drawings that are very multiversy looking.
Then they got the airport terminal.
There's clues here that we just don't know what they are.
Not yet, at least.
An elevator again with an X on it.
I want to know what the access denied. I bet that's where the timekeepers are.
Probably. They're probably on the top floor. With some more infinity stones being just laid
Use the
about.
paperweights.
No. Something else I want to look up there and just caught a glimpse of. Kai Marvel. What's this? Okay, so since you know you're the maybe since you're our lord guy, Dr. Henry Akai, does that ring a bell of anything for you?
Henry Akai, spell the last name?
AKAI, just like what is on the reels. Wait for it here.
AKAI? Was he the
Let's see what you know, then I'm gonna tell you what I found. More infinity stones.
If he's the guy I'm thinking about, he's the guy. He's from 616.
He is from 616.
And he was some sort of conqueror, wasn't he? Like mad scientist, world dominator, conqueror thing.
He worked for the Nth Command, a subsidiary of Brand Corporation, which itself was a subsidiary of Roxxon Oil Company. He's one of the primary developmental scientists of the Nth projectors, designing the Nth generator to empower the Nth projectors intending to displace the Earth's superheroes to other dimensions as part of Roxxon's Operation Purge. Wait,
And he did the nth dimension. That's where no, that's the null dimension I'm thinking about.
it's something to do with Siege, Godwolf. Your friend of this timeline, but it was in fact the same Godwolf. So he's involved with time travel stuff. So they're showing these projectors. Like we got it paused right here, right now. This is on the wall in what's her name's office.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So this is on the wall there. Akai made projectors. Or no, he's part of a developmental science of the nth projectors. Different kind of projector.
Right.
But still, that's a projector that his name's on. Right?
Right.
The nth,
okay.
The nth projectors was an interdimensional technology at the center of Roxxon's oil program. Agents such as Deathlock, Thundra, and Grapplers. Let's see what it does. It was used for interdimensional shenanigans.
Interdimensional travel, right?
Yep. And he worked for Roxxon.
And they had like a champion called like the Nth Man or something like that. Who like he had to fight like Quasar. I want to say he had to fight Quasar. And like the Thing, it was like it took a bunch of heroes to take him down.
Looks like he only appeared one time, maybe. Yeah, he was only in one issue. He was in Deathlock Volume 2, number 34, April 1994.
I want to say that he created Nth Man.
Let's see if I see anything about Nth Man. I don't know if you can. I mean, he was in one issue of anything. So if you could remember him, that would have been something. But
I remember Nth, the Nth commercial. Like because he was in Deathlock, right? You said Deathlock was the cyborg. He had the time travel technology in him. Was Deathlock created by the Roxxon Corp?
I think so. Let me look here.
That might be where I know the name from then.
Deathlock.
Because there's been two Deathlocks.
Oh, he looks cool too.
Yeah, Deathlock's awesome.
Yeah, he was originally a computer programmer working for Roxxon.
Yes, that was it. And then he fought
artificial limbs.
He fought Nth Man, and his brain was more computer than anything. He also fought in the 90s, mid 90s, early 90s. Death's Head. The UK had their own Marvel comics.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like the Knights of Pendragon, Death's Head. Death's Head was actually a really fun comic, and he fought Deathlock. So yeah, there's a whole run of Marvel UK comics. Motormouth, I believe, was one of them.
He looks freaking cool, though.
Deathlock's awesome.
Mostly cyborg-y.
Yeah, he becomes almost full robotic towards the end. Trying to think if we're missing anything else. That kind of looks like it, huh?
Maybe it. Oh, hold on. Let's go back and look at his card. It said sector. I want to see if that lined up with the there's anything of 1999999 on this card. That would be kind of cool. There's 19. Sector
1900 to 2099.
What does that mean?
2099 was a whole series that they did in the 90s. Spider-Man 2099, Hulk 2099. There was like a Thor 2099 version. There was a Loki 2099. It was a future Spider-Man 2099. Spider-Man worked for Roxxon, I think. Miguel O'Hara was Spider-Man 29, Spider-Man 2099.
So we're seeing this right now we're in the end credits and we're looking at Loki's
I wonder this is going to lead
check-in
to the
card.
2099 universe. Yeah, Miguel O'Hara. And he worked for. Was it Roxxon? No, it was Alchemex. I wonder if Alchemex rolls into there. Because it's a megacorp in the future. In this 2099, the megacorps rule everything.
Or they threw this in here to screw with people like you. Be like, oh, they're going to see this 2099 and they're going to freak
Tiberius
out.
Stone, representing Alchemex, is seen in a secretive meeting with the Universal Bank with Sebastian Shaw of Shaw Industries. Shaw is leader of the Hellfire Club. Wilson Fisk of Fisk Industries. Dario Auger of Roxxon Energy Corporation.
And they're saying it teased it.
Zeke Stain of Stain International. Harada of Yoshida Corporation. Yeah, so it's tied in with the Roxxon. I wonder if they're going to do a 2090 something with 2099.
I don't know. I'm going down some deeper rabbit holes. TVA recruited Deadpool at one time.
Oh, they did. And maybe Sylvie Laffy daughter.
Laffy daughter.
Okay. Well, that would be kind of cool if they did.
Well, I mean, if
Doom
they're doing-
2099 was cool. It was a whole thing. Like, I don't even know if they have those in trades. I know that they brought the 2099 back up recently.
Well, I mean, it could be, and they may not like dive fully off into it, but during the multiverse of madness, you may get a glimpse of it.
Yeah,
That's what-
maybe. Oh, that would be awesome.
See, I think that's something that we'll see. So all these little things we see.
Spider-Man, multiverse of whatever the new Spider-Man animated one is.
Spider-Verse.
Spider-Verse, Into the Spider-Verse.
Mhm.
I wonder if we're going to see Spider-Man 2099 in there.
Maybe. So that could be. See, that's the thing with them doing these branches like this. They don't necessarily have to dedicate a full anything to it, but just a little glimpse, right?
Right.
It's like what you're talking about, or like what we're talking about, multiverse of madness. If they're bouncing back and forth through all these different timelines, and you get a glimpse of 2099, or you get a glimpse of a lot of different things. And I'm betting that's where we'll actually see a mutant as a mutant
Could
in
be.
multiverse. And we're not going to see it. We're not going to get a full-on introduction. We're going to see a glimpse of them in one of these branches.
Could be.
We'll see. And we may not even see a full mutant. We may see, part of the old spandex looky uniform or
Halfy the half mutant.
Mm-hmm. I bet that's where we see it for like our actual final confirmation.
Or Jojo the Idiot Circus Boy with his pretty new pet.
Do you know your WandaVision theory could explain Pietro?
Yeah.
This branching could explain how we got fake Pietro.
Mm-hmm.
Peter.
Yeah.
So many things could be happening.
I hate time travel.
You hate it and you love it because of all the
I do.
possibilities.
I have a
I
love
hate trying to
with it.
understand it.
Yeah, okay,
I'm just
I'll
going
go
to
with that.
accept it.
I'll go with that.
Like when you're watching a really confusing anime and they give you this monologue about why everything is the way it is, you're like, okay, that explains that.
And then all the tentacles come out and they go
Which
Harry led me astray. Harry led me astray.
you have a different streaming subscription than I do.
It comes in discrete packaging.
You don't even get to stream it; they just mail it to you. No return address.
You can't risk it streaming.
Shifty guy in an overcoat delivers it to your front door.
And he doesn't hand it to you. He opens his overcoat.
Take your pick.
I want the one down there.
And And they're all on DVD. None of them are Blu-ray. They're all on DVD.
Nope. No high def in this one.
There's some Betamax down at the bottom.
Betamax. That's the dude's name who delivers it. Betamax.
Mm-hmm. Oh, hey, Beta.
Oh, hello.
Oh, hi.
Oh, hi.
Friendly neighborhood hentai dealer.
Wiggle, 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 wiggle.
Oh, shit. We went off the rails.
What else is new?
That's a good thing. So many
It
things
is.
could happen. So I think we laid out pretty much every theory.
Yep.
So something's going to stick. Accuracy
So-
by volume. That's how we do our theories.
And hopefully one will.
Mhm.
So next up, we'll get episode 3, which is actually released in 2 days. Now that they, here's what kind of fucks us up a lot too. They've announced that I texted Kyle this. All the new TV shows will now be released on Wednesdays. All new movies on Disney Plus are on Fridays.
So we're going to get Bad Batches and Loki's on the same day in the middle of the week.
Yeah, I don't know when they're starting this, but soon.
For us, I like it a little bit better because sometimes we record on Fridays occasionally, and that puts us a little closer to the release date. Like if it comes out on a Friday, okay, so like if these were coming out on a Friday, sometimes we're having to wait till a Saturday or Sunday, and then we're releasing it on a Monday. We can get a little closer to the release date if we wanted to, potentially. So we just do some midweek madness stuff.
So we'll see.
Yeah. Good stuff.
With that,
Good stuff.
good stuff, real good stuff.
Mhm.
With that, this has been Every Man's Guide to Nerddom. I'm Chris.
And I'm Kyle, and wherever you guys are, have a good evening, good night, good morning, whatever it is, wherever you are, and be good to each other.
See ya.
We're out of here. Y'all have a great one.
Nerdcore could rise up. It could get elevated. Nerdcore could rise up. It could get elevated. Nerdcore used to be just a made up word. MCs shied away from belief. Rest assured they sleep hard no longer.